Hello, I'm author Casey Bell, and I am reading part three of chapter one of 4SCORE, short story written by me. 4SCORE, chapter one, part three. Edward sits back in a corner, smiling to no end. He takes his cell phone out of his pocket and dials. Hey, Derek, it's Eddie. Hi, man, what's going on? You've been out for a long time. Is everything okay? Yes, everything is fine. I got here on time, but there was already a line. I'm number 445. Oh my gosh, did you get it? Go in yet? Yes, I did. I got a call back. Oh my gosh, I told you this was it. So you're gonna get it. Well, I don't know about that. It's only the second audition. There are a total of five auditions. I'm just glad I made a call back. I'm not going to get my hopes up, though. Well, I think you can do it. Well, thank you for the encouragement. No problem, man. Call me when you make the next cut. If I make the next cut, I will call you. Okay, see you later. Bye. After another 2 hours, the first auditions were complete. It went from 1,675 boys to 300. The second audition was a dance audition. The choreographer taught us a dance and we had to audition it. It wasn't difficult, but they taught it quickly and we didn't have that much to rehearse it. They brought us in 10 at a time, and after you were done, they told you whether or not you were going to the third audition. Once I was done, I was able to call Derek. Derek, congratulate me. I made it to the third audition. Oh, that's great. See, I told you. Not so fast. There's still three more to go. Are you going to be there all day? No, after the third audition, they're going to continue the rest tomorrow. I'm so excited. I don't even care whether or not I make it. It's just nice not to be rejected so quickly. Well, I'm glad that you went. Derek? Yes? Thank you. You're welcome. Why are you thanking me? For pushing me and for believing in me. No problem. I love you, man. I love you too. Bye. From 300 to 50, I couldn't believe I was still there. The third and last audition of the day was a song audition. They taught us a song, and not only did we have to learn it, we had to sing it with one other person. One of us sang the high note while the other sang the low. We sang the song twice, each switching notes. They wanted to see if we could keep our notes singing a duet. They went from 50 to 20, and I was able to call Derek again. I went back to his place, and we had a celebration dinner for me. It was kind of cute. He also invited some friends over. I was very happy and thanking God that I didn't let this opportunity pass. The next day, my whole outlook was different. I walked to the audition singing, whistling, and smiling. I felt different than I had in the past. It was a nice feeling. The fourth audition, they taught us a song and dance. We had to sing in the song and dance. Of course, they wanted to see our ability to do both. I had much experience, so I was happy about this audition. Again, we didn't get much time. I learned it quickly and I performed, which is different from auditioning. I pretended as if I was in the group on stage with a live audience. Once I was done, I stood and watched the others, and once all 20 were done, it was only 12 of us that made it to the fifth and final audition. I cannot believe that I was still there. I was amazed at myself. I thought for sure it was a dream, but it wasn't. Thank God it wasn't. They gave us a 10-minute break, and when we returned, they put us in groups of four. They taught us each the same song and dance, and we had to perform as a group. At that point, it truly didn't matter to me what happened. I was so proud that I made it that far. My hope and faith had changed. I told myself if I don't make it, it doesn't matter. There are more auditions. I then started thinking about moving back to New York. The studio was in New York, and the band would be recording in New York, so I started to prepare, even though I wasn't sure if I would be in the group. They put us in groups. I was with three other guys who didn't make the final cut, but they were really good. After 2 hours of auditioning and changing groups and returning for what seemed like endless interviews, they had picked the final four, and praise God I was one of them. They called me, and I couldn't have been more nervous. I walked in, and they asked me why I auditioned for the group. I was so nervous because I knew originally I didn't even want to be there. And I knew if I said I came here for a friend, there was a chance I wouldn't make it. And at that point, I wanted to make it. So I quickly came up with the best answer. I've been singing since I was 5. I had my first solo when I was 7. And I've been doing community theater for over 10 years. I started going on auditions and I was rejected one right after the other. I came here because a friend of mine told me about this. I'll be honest. I didn't want to come at first because I was afraid of more rejection. I came anyway. When I got the first call back, I couldn't have been happier. At that point, I didn't care whether or not I got in. I was just happy that I finally got my first call back. However, as I went from one audition to audition, I realized that this is me and this is for me. I never wanted something so badly in my life until now. I enjoy sharing my love, emotions, feelings, joy, and whatever through song and dance. I know I can give something back to everyone simply by doing this. Let me ask you another question. What is the most important thing about being a part of the group? No matter what happens in my life, I can't make myself look good or make the group look bad. It's completely about teamwork, making sure that I don't overshine my light and my fellow members does not undershine his. They then said thank you when I left. Afterwards, I thought to myself, everything I said was stupid. They hated it. I know they did. Then I started to ask myself questions. Did you smile? Did you look into their eyes? Did you even know what you just said? It was horrible. I wanted to change my answers. I wanted to cry. I wanted to leap, and I was all over the place. They called us in one by one and let us know whether or not we'd made it through. I was the 11th person they called in. To know that 3 already had made it, had been chosen, and there is one more that will be chosen, and there are only 2 other choices, including you, that was a nerve-wracking moment. I went in and I was ready to hear, sorry, Edward, but you didn't make the cut. I walked in and they all had smiles and congratulated me. I think I started jumping. I went crazy. All I kept thinking was Derek was right. His feeling was right. Of course, I called him and screamed until I couldn't scream anymore. I left the place ecstatic with my confidence rebuilt. I went back to Derek and couldn't stop thanking him. I then went back home and packed my things. I didn't officially move out of Connecticut until 3 weeks later. I also gave my job a 1-week notice. Once I told them why I was leaving, they were happy for me and sent me on my way. The next week was the first meeting. I met the other guys and rehearsals had started. The first thing we did that day was introduce ourselves. First meeting. Hello, everyone. My name is John Franklin, and I am the producer of 4-Leaf Clover. To my right is Lex Hart. He is the owner of 4-Leaf Clover, and he will be your manager. To my left is Ben Michaels, Lewis Wright, and Karen Lockhart. They will be writing all your songs, and sitting next to Karen is Samuel Gregory. He will be your vocal coach and music director. Let's start by you guys introducing yourselves. Let's start with Sean. Hi, I'm Sean Cruz. First time I met Sean was at the 3rd audition. He was my singing partner. At the audition, they taught everyone both parts, and then they split us up into 2. Once we had our partner, we had 5 minutes to rehearse together. We both said hi to each other, and then we rehearsed. After the 5 minutes, the next thing he said to me was, "Don't screw this up for me." I got nervous, but I did well, and he thanked me for not messing up. Hi, my name is Christopher Wu. Christopher was my dance buddy during the 2nd audition. We helped each other learn the dance, and it was nice to see him in the final 4. Hello, everyone. My name is Orlando Romero. Orlando was cute, but odd. I watched him during the auditions, and he was wonderful, but he didn't look like someone who should be dancing and singing. He looked like he should have been in a science lab mixing up something. I was the last to introduce myself. After that, John talked to us for a little bit, and then he rehearsed our first song. "Don't Break My Heart, Baby" was the first song that we rehearsed. It was your everyday pop love song. It had a nice sound and everything, but it didn't have a distinguished sound, something to make us different from all the other boy groups. I remember the first rehearsal because it was the start of something new for me. It meant that I didn't have to wonder anymore if my journey would lead where I wanted to go. I knew I was on the right path and I couldn't be happier. During the next month, rehearsals got intense. We spent 6 days a week, 15 hours a day in rehearsal, singing, dancing, and recording. It was about 3 months later when we signed the contract. As stupid as it sounds, none of us really read through it. Both the producers and the managers went through it with us, and we just trusted them. I think we were all desperate as well. We weren't sure if this train would come again, so we didn't want to ruin it by asking too many questions. However, I do wish I would have taken the time to read it. But hey, lesson learned. It wasn't long before we were almost done with our first album. Everything was coming along until our first dilemma arose. It wasn't anything major, but it took 2 days to solve it. It was about 4 months after we started that the producer came to us. He told us that one of our other producers found another underground band with the same name as us. At first, we were going to keep the name being that the band was underground and no one had ever heard of them. But John decided that we should change our name. At the time, he didn't have any suggestions. Instead, he had asked the four of us to find a new name for ourselves. We had got together that day and many names popped up. The four of us, Band of Four, Spice Boys, The Tempting Four, The Four Amigos, The Four Walls, 4D, Quarterly, We Four Kings, Macaroni and Cheese, Paper or Plastic, The Fourth Leg, Channel 4, Fantastic Four, Gang of Four, and so many others. We finally decided to sleep on it. We left that day and came back. I came back with the name American Boys. Sean came in with 2+2 and New Yorker Boys. But I explained to him that I wasn't originally from New York. Christopher came up with Four Corners, but it was Orlando who came up with our name. He had a couple of good ones, all coming from the same idea. He came up with the names that were acronym using our names. He came up with the CEOs, 0 Seconds, OSEC, and the Eskimos. But when he explained 4SCORE to us, we were found our name. The 4 stands for, well, the fact that it's four of us. The SCORE is acronym S is for Sean, C is for Christopher, OR is for Orlando, and the E is for Edward. We all celebrated the name and we were happy to become 4SCORE. It was at that point that we were ready to start our careers. I must say I was nervous, though, mostly because no matter what happened, there were only 3 things we could be: a band that never made it, a one-hit wonder, or a best-selling band that everyone will remember. With the songs that the writing team wrote for us, it was hard to say. There were only 2 songs that I really liked, but the rest weren't all that good. One thing that made me really get nervous was that the team gave us our last song. It was a last-minute song, and I wasn't sure why they were throwing a new song at us so last minute. Well, until I heard the thing. The song was 4SCORE We Are. I already knew just by listening to the title that I wouldn't like it. It was our first single, and I thought to myself that is the end of our career. But of course, the song was released and made the top 10 on the charts. I was happy, but very shocked at the same time. I didn't know what was going to happen next, but I was just happy to be finally performing. After a month, they released another song, which became a hit, Dancing Tonight. After that hit the charts, our tour was planned and we were on our way to travel. I couldn't have been any happier. I said goodbye to Derek and left not knowing the many things that would happen.